Welcome back. We will continue with item number 5, which is the appointment of CAPC members for council on 2011. Mr. Pioneer, would you stay on?
I make a motion to discuss appointment of CAPC members of council 2011.
Motion's been made. Need a second?
Second.
Doc, motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. DeVito.
I would nominate Bush Berry for CAPC position.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to nominate Mr. Berry for CAPC. Let Ms. Clerk catch up. Any other nominations? Yes, ma'am.
I would nominate Miss Alexander.
Okay. Motion been made to nominate Ms. Alexander. Seconded by Dr. Kirkpatrick. All right, we'll first vote on Mr. Berry's. We'll do a voice vote. Okay. All in favor of Mr. Berry, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Be voice vote on Ms. Alexander. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Congratulations.
Maybe not.
All right, number 6 on the agenda is application from Ray Dotson for animal drawn vehicle franchise. Need a motion to open. Mr. Pioneer.
Motion to open discussion of application from Ray Dotson, horse-drawn vehicle franchise.
Motion been made. Need a second.
Second.
Dr. Kirkpatrick seconded. Made and second. Open for discussion. Mr. DeVito.
I don't see Mr. Dotson here.
Is he not present? Yes, ma'am.
I called him today and told him he needed to be here for, and so he knows.
He was notified.
He was notified.
Okay. All right.
I'd remove the item from the agenda.
Okay. Mr. Tharp, do you have any matters to bring before the council regarding this?
If he's not here and it's not going to be discussed, then I don't need to make anything.
Motion stricken. We'll move to number 7, which will be a discussion of amendments for water rates. Need a motion to open. Discuss.
Motion to discuss water rate.
Motion been made. Need a second.
Second.
Mr. Berry seconded. Any discussion? All right. Yes, Mr.
I'm confused about when we discuss. Kind of jumped out at me on the last vote for the discussion for the 2 positions. Is this when we can discuss concerns about this, or are we jumping
About this
into
one?
reading
Yes, sir.
the
We're
ordinance?
open for discussion right now. Regarding this matter only.
I'm wondering where it came from, particularly with an emergency clause, and unless I have figures that are totally different. We've had 4 water rate increases in the last 2.5 years, going on 3 years, and projected budget figures for water sales is $663,000, and Boone expenses are projected at $300,000, which leaves an excess that may or may not be needed somewhere else of $111,371, and we're asking the citizenry to pay more for water.
Okay. Any other discussion? Ms. Siobhan, would you give us a preface on this, please?
Yes. In our code book, there is a place that is referenced in the ordinance, Municipal Code 10.44.04, Section G, where the finance director shall make fee adjustments based on the South Urban Consumer Price Index for November. I have reviewed the numbers, and the Consumer Price Index in November 15th was at 1.1%. The Water Sewer Fund is an enterprise fund. It is a fund that is supposed to take care of its own. The Public Works Department is paid out with the Water Sewer Fund and the Street Fund, and so I have inclined a 1.1% increase on the water rates. and this will be in effective for February 1st billing. I have notified the customers on their water bills a month ago that will be, I will be doing that 1.1% increase. The council, because our water rates are based on ordinance, and to keep everything in line with the ordinances, I have brought the ordinance to the table to approve.
Questions of Ms. Yvonne? Yes, ma'am.
What is the necessity of having an emergency clause attached to this?
Because of the fact that the water rates will be effective February the 1st, and to make sure that there isn't any delay with the ordinance, I have been still on the advice of the attorney, put the emergency clause on the ordinance. And because you all hadn't met, but this one time this month has caused me to have to do that also.
Yes, ma'am.
So you need us to ratify this.
Yes, ma'am.
And you went ahead and let your customers know that this was going to be ratified even though you weren't sure if it was going to be ratified?
No, I have, in the code, I am able to instill the 1.1% increase.
With our approval?
Without your, well, with my approval, I'm allowed to do that. However, the ordinances that we have for the water rates are based on ordinances, and so I have to, in order to make everything in line, have an ordinance to go along with that water rate increase.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, call for the vote. This is a voice or?
Can be a voice, yeah.
All right, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Okay. We need to find out who said no. Dr. Kirkpatrick said no.
I said no.
Ms. Balance, no. Mr. Pownell, no. Mr. Berry said yes. Mr. DeVito said yes. And Ms. Alexander said yes. All right, it's 3-3. That means I'll vote
Puts it in your lap.
yes. And that is the last item on new business. Next is city council comments.
We'll need to read the ordinances.
Right.
Oh, okay,
Then-
I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. All right, go ahead. Do you feel like reading this again? I know
It's
you kinda
fine, but
drafted this.
it's to pass it on an emergency basis, not just to pass
That's not your
it,
call.
right?
Not your call.
Okay,
That's
I
up
was
to the
trying to
folks.
understand.
It needs a number assigned, and
Yes,
it needs to be
okay.
read 3
Need a motion.
times. And
Need a motion to assign a ordinance number to the ordinance as just voted on. Mr. Berry, Mr. DeVito.
Move to assign ordinance a number and place it on its first reading.
All right, let her get caught up here.
It'll be 2134.
What is it?
2134.
Okay.
Okay. Ordinance number 21.
order. Put it in there.
Yes.
Second.
Yeah.
Oh.
If everybody wait on me, then I'll catch up with you. All right, we need a second on the ordinance number. All right, motion been made and seconded to give it 2134. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, same as last time.
Ordinance number 2134, an ordinance amending Chapter 10.44.04 of the Municipal Code of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, increasing rates for services rendered by the water system of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and providing an emergency clause. Whereas the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, the city, owns and operates a water distribution, the system, and whereas Chapter 10.44.04G of the Eureka Springs Municipal Code requires an annual rate review and fee adjustment based on the South Urban Consumer Price Index, all urban users, that is the CPI-U for November of the preceding year and for January billing for those rates based on meter readings to begin with the December 15th reading of the preceding year, and whereas the adjustment required pursuant to the November South Urban Consumer Price Index, all urban users, CPI-U, is a 1.1% increase, and whereas it is necessary to amend Chapter 10.44.04 of the Eureka Springs Municipal Code to reflect the new rates that, pursuant to Chapter 10.4404G, went into effect for meter reading that began with the December 15th, 2010 reading. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, Section 1, Subsection A of Chapter 10, Section 10.44.04 of the Eureka Springs Municipal Code is hereby amended to read as follows. Quote, A, the City Council hereby finds and declares the following monthly rates and charges for water usage fair, reasonable, and necessary, and they are hereby fixed as rates to be charged for services of the water system. So for the first 2,000 gallons of water consumption per month or any portion thereof inside the city limits, $9.90 minimum. Outside the city limits, $19.80 minimum. For the next 6,000 gallons of water consumption per month or any portion thereof, inside the city limits, $3.68 per 1,000 gallons. Outside the city limits, $7 per 1,000 gallons. For all water consumption in excess of 8,000 gallons per month or any portion thereof inside the city limits, $5.09 per 1,000 gallons. Outside the city limits, $10.18 per 1,000 gallons. Section 2, Chapter 10.44.04 of the Eureka Springs Municipal Code, as amended hereby, shall remain in full force and effect. Section 3, that the provisions of this ordinance are separable, and if a section, phrase, or provision shall be declared invalid, such declaration shall not affect the validity of the remainder of this ordinance. Section 4, that ordinances and resolutions and parts thereof in conflict herewith are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Section 5, these rates shall be reflected in the January 2011 billing to be mailed in February. Section 6, emergency...
You don't have to read that just yet.
Oh, good.
No. All right. You've heard. Go ahead.
I have a correction. On the outside, on these 6,000 gallons, it was read at $7 per 1,000 gallons. It should be $7.36, 1,000 gallons.
That's
Thank
what
you.
I've got. Okay. All right, you heard the motion being read. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Yvonne, is this supposedly, if we take $9.40 and multiply it times 1.1%?
$9.79 times 1.1%.
Oh, 9 point what?
It was $9.79
Okay.
times 1.1%.
Okay.
Any other discussion, Mr. DeVito?
I move to place ordinance, to approve ordinance number 2134 on its first reading.
Okay, motion's been made. Placing on its first reading. Second?
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. By title only, is that what you're referring to, sir?
No, just approving the reading
all right.
of that ordinance.
All right, all in favor of the ordinance?
Well,
Is
discussion, please.
Okay, go ahead.
This is encouraging that we're keeping abreast of these items, because I know in the past, it was about 10 years ago, I don't know, it all run together, but we experienced, what was the percentage, 10%, 15%?
It was supposed to be about 19%.
19%, because previous councils had not kept abreast of these issues. And the hard cold facts of reality is, you know, everything's going to get more expensive. Fuel costs for the generators at the pump station. Everything attendant to that costs more money. So doing it in this manner, I applaud the finance director for staying abreast of this, because the shock to the system of almost a 20% increase was significant to the people